This morning, Israeli leaders say they are closer to ever than to a possible deal to free some of the 200-plus hostages taken by Hamas in the deadly October 7th attacks.
Well, now Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says a ceasefire is on the table if certain conditions are met. KCAL News anchor Chris Holmstrom joins us now to unpack the very latest. Chris.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack this morning, especially. So this all comes as Israeli Defense Forces have released new images of weapons and also tunnels found in Gaza's largest hospital. Now, 6 weeks into the conflict, clashes between Israeli forces and Palestinians continue to ramp up in the West Bank. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told CBS Evening News that hostages taken by Hamas may have previously been held in Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital.
We had strong indications that they were held in the Shifa hospital, which is one of the reasons we entered the hospital.
Israeli Defense Forces say the bodies of two hostages, 65-year-old grandmother Yehudit Weiss and 19-year-old soldier Noah Marciano, were found near the hospital. This comes as CBS News has learned that Israel is considering a deal that would see Hamas free some women and children in exchange for a 3 to 5 day ceasefire, possibly the release of some Palestinian women and children from Israeli prisons.
We'll have a temporary ceasefire if we can get our hostages back.
Israel's military entered the Al-Shifa hospital this week and yesterday released video showing a tunnel and a vehicle full of weapons purportedly used by Hamas in the hospital. Hamas has denied claims that it operates from Gaza's hospital. Prime Minister Netanyahu told CBS News he believes Hamas militants fled the Al-Shifa hospital as Israeli forces approached. Israel's defense forces also posted images of another large cache of weapons said to be found inside the hospital. Meanwhile, people ran through the streets of Jenin to escape the blasts in the West Bank, where Israeli forces say they killed at least 5 Palestinians in clashes last night. Also in that interview with CBS News, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said that his military is doing everything it can to keep Palestinian civilians out of harm's way, while accusing Hamas of doing the opposite. The Biden administration has backed Israel's assertions that Hamas bases some of its organization in hospitals, which President Biden has described as a war crime. But definitely a lot to come. Still 200-plus hostages still out there.
Okay, Chris, thank you.
CBS News Los Angeles, your local news, streaming wherever, whenever.